You're watching DCTV. Now here's your host, the voice, Dave Canning. It's you, it's me, it's DCTV. It's you, it's me, it's DCTV. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is NRD and H to P after Mania 38. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The most stupendous weekend in wrestling history has come to a close. 2 nights of WrestleMania, 16 matches in total on both nights, and we had some math to do. It was a 4-way tie between Nick, who said we probably wouldn't even need a tiebreaker, Ryan, Harold, and Wrestling Nerd Rumble winner Jared. It was a 4-way tie, 7 points apiece. So it came
one very important name missing from that 4 too.
Yes, unfortunately, Margaret was not able to attend Mania this weekend to watch with me, so she did not walk out of Mania with any. However, are you okay there, Harold?
Yes. Hello there. It's me, Harold, the puppet. I just got a little bit of a cough this weekend from watching so much wrestling.
It happens when you watch all that wrestling. But so it came down to our tiebreaker, and there was a total in what was it? It was 8 hours of WrestleMania. What is it? 12 if you include the pre-show with no matches on it. So in that 12-hour span between the pre-show, both pre-shows and both nights of WrestleMania, there was a whopping total of 3 hours, 14 minutes, and 45 seconds of wrestling. And with a time of 3 hours and 8 minutes of total match time for his tiebreaker, please welcome the king. Put that down, Nick, before your wife runs you over with a car. Our king, the fluff daddy himself, Harold the Puppet. Harold, congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Yes. Hello there.
Yeah.
Whoa, baby. Dave, it feels good to be king. Thanks for the shirt. Look at that shirt, guys. Whoa, baby.
Podcast
Davey.
is a lot classier already.
Team Harold all day, baby. I might even have to get a Team Harold neck tattoo, you know? That's right. So Harold, congratulations on being the new king, the fluff daddy, Harold.
Yeah, baby.
That's right. But you know who also has a neck tattoo, who's also around this weekend? That's right. According to Corey Graves, the prodigal son returned at WrestleMania Saturday night. He was indeed the mystery opponent, which I should actually get a bonus point for, because I'm just saying, I did say Cody specifically on my picks. I would just like to say I'm just saying I did in fact say Cody specifically. I should be awarded a bonus point there, which would mean it was a 5-way tie. But Cody is back. I know a lot of people have given this a lot of flack, and I understand where they're coming from, because Cody, when he left, was just one big F you to WWE and whatnot. And even the theme song itself is like, you took it all away, you took it all away, can't take my freedom. But so how do you guys feel about Cody being back in WWE? King Harold, we will start with you.
Whoa, baby. That was so stinking cool. Did you see all those fireworks? Bow, 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 bow. Yes. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I loved Cody Rhodes when he came out. It was incredible. Wrestling has more than one royal family. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't know the song, but I love it. Wow. That was so exciting. That match was incredible. I loved it so much.
And it's just my one Harold.
Oh,
Harold,
man, I'm sorry.
You're right there, Harold. You sure you good? You need a cough drop or anything? You fine?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I had a charcuterie board with dinner.
Okay.
Nice baguette. Really nice bread.
Love a good baguette. My only one nitpick of Cody, and I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but so obviously they've released the new merchandise for Cody. He still has the neck tattoo. He has the gear, came out with the same theme song. So it's still the same American Nightmare logo, but the one that was on the LED boards and whatnot throughout the arena was backwards compared to the one that is on his neck and on his jacket and even on the shirt. So I'm wondering if, and I originally went to go check out the shirts because like, oh, maybe if they put it backwards, they think like, oh, it's not the same design. We can just copyright this. But no, the shirts are the design that is on Cody's gear. It was just the LED board. So I'm curious if that was a mistake or by design, but yeah, I think he may have to change the music. I'm glad he came out with that music because it sounds like this is the AEW guy coming in. So for any younger fans who don't remember Cody as a WWE guy, they specifically remember him the last 3-4 years of AEW. They recognize him with AEW, so they come out with the same music. But now I can see him coming out and I'll be like, we're gonna change the music, but the attitude's still the same. Come on. Nick, how about you? What do you think of Cody coming as you scratch your neck tattoo?
It was the worst kept secret. I mean, but I think I said on here that I wouldn't believe it until he came out. And I still didn't. Even when the music hit, I was like, no way. So yeah, I just want to clarify that there is only one royal family now. There used to be multiple ones, but only
Cody said it himself, sir. Okay. Cody said it himself. There's more than one.
Nope, just one.
Speaking as the king, I think we could unify all the royal families into one and just take care of the world.
If Cody would like to link up, tag team, because Cody and I have met. Me and Harold met Cody. All those, this past summer. We took a field trip and we met him with the Magnificent One and Killer Kathleen. I don't have a better nickname for her right now. We'll work on that. It's a working title. Yeah, I don't think it's
Kathleen. She's so kind. I don't even know her.
Kind Kathleen. There you go. There you go. Brian, what about you? What are your thoughts on Cody coming to WWE?
Sad. I am.
Are
sad.
You really?
I am sad.
Why are you sad?
I don't know. It just it felt real. Like you said, everything he'd say, anti-WWE, just standing on his own 2 feet, what they started, and then he went home. It's just kind of, it's the prodigal son ruined.
I totally get that, and I understand everyone's viewpoint on that. It is like going back to a toxic. Somebody said that it was like getting back with a toxic ex, and to me, the difference in this is we're assuming that WWE is going to mess this up. Now, given their track record, there's a good chance that they do that, and we have Stardust in the pre-show in a non-existing match next Mania. But I being an optimistic person, I like to think and hope. And I said this in our group chat, our Patreon chat, that Sting is going on record as saying like the reason he held out on going to WWE so long was because he saw how they treated WCW guys. And I'm not talking about your Ric Flairs, your Hogans, your Nashes. We're talking about the true WCW guys, your Diamond Dallas.
Like my friend Buff Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell, exactly. Booker T. I mean, Booker T is probably the most has probably been the most successful pure WCW guy that ever went to WWE. Probably. Unless I'm like missing. And I'm not talking, like I said, not talking about Ric Flair or Hogan or anything like that. But so, and then obviously they dropped the ball with Sting. So I like to think that this is sort of a different situation because now somebody has come from AEW to WWE. Like, it's not like, oh, here come all these guys who used to work for WCW. They've got nowhere else to go. We can do whatever we want. If Cody gets screwed over in this, MJF always talks about like, oh, 2024, the great bidding war. Dude ain't leaving then. There's no point. I like to think that they're going to do right by Cody, and a bold, fantasy booking, in my opinion. I think it's going to be Cody versus Roman for the title at SummerSlam. And I think that would be amazing because that's your AEW versus WWE match right there.
Everything Cody would say on AEW Live TV made me feel like, man, there's some realism here. And now I'm starting to believe what people all my life, when I say I like wrestling, they say it's the F word. Now I'm starting to believe it because he's back.
Fun.
WWE.
Fun.
It's fun. It's fantasy.
Fancy. It's
you,
fancy.
Yeah, F you right, but there's more letters. Let's move on. We'll move.
Well, my thing is this, all we've talked about, I'd love to bring up the meme that, the Wrestling Nerd Royal Rumble winner, Jared, shared with our group. It was, so Vince traded Adam Cole, Red Dragon, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, Ruby Soho, Keith Lee, William Regal, FTR, and Malachi Black for Cody. Seems like a fair trade almost. But my thing is this, like, you've seen all of those people go to AEW and more, and nobody's come from AEW to WWE. We all talk about this great wrestling war that's going on. Now it's exciting because somebody from AEW, somebody big from AEW has come to WWE. I've seen all these things. For example, Friday Night SmackDown on the Los Lotharios Kiss Cam was Ashley Dembois, who's a local indie wrestler by me. And she has been on AEW Dark or Dark Elevation, one of those two. So people are like, oh, I know this person's been on WWE and AEW. Like, I'm talking about a main event talent. Not that Ashley Dembois is any less. We would love to have Ashley on the show sometime. But,
The only one close to a main eventer was Bea Priestley, and she's on NXT UK. And I just don't think that's quite as big, even though I love my people over in Europe, from England, from France, from Austria. I love all of them.
I did not even know Bea Priestley was in NXT UK. I don't even watch NXT UK. I don't even know what time that's on. I don't even know what time that's on, quite honestly. But
it's not in Miami time.
Miami time, yes.
Miami time. Miami time merch coming soon, I think. But
real quick, speaking of merch, how'd you get that Team Harold shirt, Dave? Was that just a backup kiss the butt situation?
No, Ryan, as you may or may not know, as the person who has designed all of the Wrestling Nerd broadcast merchandise with the help of Doug Yanunya's great logo, of course, I have taken pride in myself to order a piece of merchandise of every piece of Wrestling Nerd merch that we have. And did you know that we also have these super duper comfortable zip up hoodies with the Wrestling Nerd broadcast logo on it? Like, I'm telling you, folks, I don't know if anyone here has bought this. This thing is this is the equivalent. Like, if you turn this inside out and give it a hug, I'm sure it's the closest thing to hugging Harold, which can't wait to do one day, because Harold is Fluff Daddy.
Okay.
He's buff, he's fluff, and Team Dave can't get enough of Harold because he's such a great guy.
I can't help but notice that your sidekick is missing, Dave.
Listen,
he's not missing. He's just not here, I guess.
Exactly. Like
I think he got scared.
Dennis Day Jr. Is a proud stablemate of mine, and I just like to say it's Chicago time and it's late. He's got a kid. He's healing. We hope Dennis is feeling better, by the way.
Seems to me like a Paul Heyman situation where, like, you lose the championship and all of a sudden he might be in Harold's corner now. We might have a brother duo mega power situation going on.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying like Gerald and Harold are going to team up against me? Like, it's not happening, bro. I don't think that's even possible. Because I'm on Team Harold now. Like, I'm Team Harold. I've got the shirt, ProWrestlingTees.com/the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. It's there for sale. But
Harold, our king, do you trust Dave? If you trust him, I'll trust
him. Yes, Ryan, yeah. I think they're best in people. I know last episode I got a little heated towards the end and I was shouting a little bit.
Yeah,
I got real excited about WrestleMania, the most stupendous night of the year. But I really think the best in all the people. So I'm willing to say, all right, Dave. Okay, David, I trust you. Let's do this thing, baby. We can be friends again.
Like, we all remember, like, back in August, you and me shook hands through the screen. It was incredible. It was stupendous. Are you trying to raise your hand to me again, Harold?
I don't know. Are you ready to receive my hand?
Yes, I'm always ready to receive your hand.
This way.
Up. Keep going. Higher. Oh, nope. Oh, to the right. To the right. To the right. Nope. The other right. There. Oh. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, that hurts Tom's shoulder.
See, I even shook hands with Harold, folks, just to let you know that it's legit. Okay, it's legit. It's the Wrestling Nerd broadcast after Mania. Oh God, oh jeez, did you wash your hands, Harold? Oh,
I coughed into my elbow. I was taught right.
Get some Purell on here. Don't know where
they
those
always
paws
call me
have
growing
been.
up. Cough into the elbow.
But yes, WrestleMania. So total of 3 hours and 14 minutes. Can we just talk about like that? There was a 2-hour pre-show with no matches on it. Like, what the heck is that all about? That's ridiculous.
Nothing happened. It was
literally nothing. I watched the entire. I didn't watch. I had it on the background today. But yeah, the entire pre-show. There's nothing. I get that they had a DJ there, but like when I've gone to WrestleMania the last for WrestleMania 29 and 35. I pre-gamed in the parking lot, like we barbecued, whatever, had a good time. But then eventually you go in for the pre-show because obviously they had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. They they had WrestleMania 35. They had Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, RIP, win the tag titles over FTR. So it's stuff you don't want to miss, and just I don't know how they pull it off. I mean, I get with Stand and Deliver, like obviously Stand and Deliver happened at 1:00 Miami time on Saturday, so you needed to give people time to get to the building. When I don't know how far the two locations are, but it's just, yeah, how do you do a 2-hour pre? There's no need. We're already invested. I don't think you're convincing anybody whether or not they should buy the pay-per-view or subscribe to Peacock with a pre-show hype package. You're just not,
And all the pre-show hype packages, we were there before the matches.
Exactly. And I remember being a kid, like when I was watching pay-per-views, like they didn't show that hype package until the pay-per-view, and you would just watch it, be like, let's go. So that's why there was no like boring bathroom match or whatnot. You were hyped for everything. But yeah, I don't, and the main event went, I think it was 12 minutes we added in there. It was like Johnny Knoxville and Sammy Guevara. Johnny Knoxville and Johnny, not Jonathan Mayer, Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn went longer than Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in the greatest WrestleMania match ever. It wasn't. I mean, I think they've even had better matches, quite honestly. Brock and Roman. So
it was boring, a snooze fest.
Yeah, that was.
Talk about the real main event, though.
What was
the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Oh yeah, after the real main event.
Pardon my language. Hold on, pardon my language, but give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Harold 316 says, I just said a bad word.
Let's talk about the real main event, that squash match between Vince McMahon and Pat McAfee. I put up a poll on Twitter. Let's see if anybody actually cares about our NRD poll, our NRD Twitter. Hold on, let me bring this up here.
I just can't wait for you to say no.
Wait, what?
My mom cares about our Instagram. She's like, you need an Instagram. I was like, we have one, Mom. So we're gonna get a follow from my mom soon.
I love moms on the gram.
Let's see.
Is that a username or?
I don't no. I'm just saying, I think because Tom's mom is on the gram, so she likes a lot of my stuff.
So we have 5 votes on our Twitter. If you haven't followed our Twitter at WNRDB, we have a total of 5 votes. I put up, all right, let's vote. Which Vince McMahon WrestleMania match was worse? 60-40. So that means it's 3 votes to 2. Which match is worse? Vince's match with Brett or Vince's match with Pat McAfee? Who has the worst match?
Brett.
Nobody can see that.
Pat McAfee, 60% of the vote.
Hold on.
Oh, you're going to go tie it up? Thanks for participating in our own Twitter poll. But yeah, that match was like, you didn't need to have that match. Like you could have just cut that and had Austin come out and stun McMahon, and it would have been much better. But yeah, that was just kind of pointless. But yeah, Stone Cold and the Kevin Owens match far exceeded my expectations. Like they played all the hits and it went perfectly. Stone Cold took that bump on the floor outside in the crowd. I was like, holy shit. Like that was insane. Match. Exactly. I mean, it was a typical
the biggest move set or like the crazy
exactly like Stone Cold's move set, like it's perfect for a guy of his age. It's not like Jeff Hardy, going to perform like the greatest hits at 60. Like it's very impressive that Ricky Morton could hit a Canadian Destroyer right now. I don't see Jeff Hardy doing a swanton at the age of like 75. I just don't see it, like without dying. Hopefully he doesn't.
Sting is the new Jack now, so you never
He
know.
really is. Sting is
Hit
living
63
life.
became new Jack. It's like,
Yeah, but Sting is really incredible. It really is. He's defying
I was
gravity.
saying something to my wife about it today, and I was like, I think the only reason that Stone Cold came out and fought Kevin Owens is because he's seen Sting at 63 on AEW diving off of balconies and stuff, and was like, well, I'm only 59, so I think
Exactly. And
Can
you know what?
I let you in on a secret?
What's that?
When I met Kevin Owens in Grand Rapids, he said, "Hey, Harold, guess what?" I said, "What, Kev?" And he said, "Watch WrestleMania, buddy. You're going to see a can of whoop ass in action." Oh, I cursed again. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. And he said, "You're going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he's going to do a stunner, and we're going to have one heck of a match. It might steal the show at WrestleMania. Don't tell anyone." And guys, did I tell you?
no.
Nope, because I'm an honest friend. I do not lie.
Listen, we all remember Sam Adams' new flavor that we promised coming out sometime. Can of whoop booty.
The whoop booty.
Have a nice, refreshing can of whoop booty. What? I said a can of whoop booty. What?
But I gotta say though, what a WrestleMania. Night 1, better than night 2.
Yes.
A lot of really cool moments, really exciting matches. There was really not an explicit flop of the night.
Yep.
There was that's okay.
Mhm.
But there was nothing where I was like, puh, 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 puh. I do not like this.
Yeah, the only thing that I think nobody liked on night 1 was the fact that the New Day versus I forget what the heck they're calling the new what are the European guys. I can't think of their damn
The
names.
Suspender Squad.
The Suspender Squad. I was thinking League of Nations with when it was Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Rusev, and Del Rio. But yeah, we were all just kind of butthurt that got canceled or cut. So we're like, you put it on that 2-hour pre-show, you got nothing else going on there. You got a DJ in the crowd, that's cool. But yeah, everything else was fine. I think definitely our predictions helped, excite us because, it came down to the last match for the first time ever. I don't think we've ever gone to a tiebreaker before in our picks. So a Mania moment there in itself, to crown a new king. Team Harold. Congratulations, Harold. I'm so proud of you, Harold. Really am. You are. Harold, we got to get you some water or something. Maybe
I know. It's so crazy. I don't know what's happening.
I don't either. But yeah, night 1, in my opinion, exceeded expectation, or was the better of the 2 nights. I'll say this: Logan Paul, fantastic. I hate the guy, but you cannot knock his wrestling ability. And regardless of whether you think the fight between Floyd Mayweather and he was fixed, it still takes a tremendous amount of athletic ability to stand toe to toe with one of the greatest boxers of all time, whether it be fixed or not, and to make it look real, and to make this look good. He hit that frog splash on I forget if he hit it on Ray or Dominic, but it was phenomenal. It was fantastic.
Guy too. He looked the part of pro wrestling.
Exactly. Like, say what you want about the Paul brothers, but the Paul brothers are what the Island Boys wish they were. Like, the Island Boys are the Wish.com version of the Paul brothers.
I hate the Paul brothers. I don't like them. But oh my goodness, it was so hard to go poo-poo on the match because Logan Paul, you can tell, he put in work. He learned this stuff. It was just like Bad Bunny, but I think he did better than Bad Bunny. Yep. He really spent time, learned the craft, and he did one heck of a job. I was very impressed with the match. I thought I was going to go poo-poo during the match, but I actually watched it.
Yeah, and then with the skull crushing finale afterward, I'm curious. I'm curious with it being in LA next year. I'm curious if they revisit Miz and Logan Paul for WrestleMania.
I think we're going to get Logan Paul on and off for the next year.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't know.
I'm not against it. I want to be against it, but I'm not.
No, I get that too. And like I said, it was a very odd build, but a good match, which I'm happy with. If you're gonna have a weird build like that, was because they had them steal the mask, and then the last week on Raw they get the mask back. Like, what story do you have left to tell? There's nothing left. So, Any other matches we wanted to touch on for Mania?
Not yet,
Moments?
because they're my top threes.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Do we want to go to the top? Do we have any other brawler news, by the way? I totally forgot.
Milwaukee Block.
What?
Milwaukee Block.
I thought you said Rocky Block. I was like, who the heck's Rocky Block?
No, Milwaukee.
Mela Kaliki Maka Black. Yes, Melika. It's a kind way to say Merry Christmas in Hawaii. Malachi Black, micro brawler, I believe, still up for sale by the time this goes live on Tuesday. So Malachi Black, the newest AEW micro brawler coming to us in a pre-sale. I'm excited. No chase this time, but I am excited. I love Malachi Black. I'm a fan of it. I won't say anything about the black tie and the black shirt because fashion. It's a major fashion choice, and I'm not here to knock it at all. That's the designer's choice. But if you look at the detail in the suit, David Stankin again knocked it out of the park. So congratulations to the friend of the show, Stank. Any other brawler news that we know of? I'm curious. I noticed that in the
micro brawler group.
Yes, it is.
Saturday.
Yes, it was.
Happy anniversary.
Happy
Good
anniversary.
job. I love you.
Happy anniversary from all of us at NRD. Happy anniversary from all of us at NRD.
NRD.
Wee. 2 years of the micro brawler fan group, Nick. Again, thank you for bringing this group together, because without this group, this show doesn't exist, and I am not a former king.
I owe a very big special thank you to Nick for the group, because my steam as a puppet was on its way out, and then this group happened, and then this show happened, and holy cow, look at me go now.
Royalty.
I should
Thank you,
maybe
Nick.
thank Nick as well. I mean, my petition wouldn't have gained the success, the 2 signatures, without you, Nick. Dylan Shivers would have been, not known as well known as he is now. So thank you. Yeah. It's been a great. It seems like less than 2 years, more than 2 years. It's been great. Thank you.
Yeah, it definitely seems like more than 2 years. What are you doing? What are you doing, Harold? Put your pen down. You're gonna choke.
I think I'm ready to sign the petition, Ryan.
What?
Oh.
I'm a king now, so I got to make proclamations and decrees.
You
know what? I'm feeling extra special friendly, so maybe I'll sign the petition.
You watched that Matt Riddle match again, didn't you, son? I gotta say, speaking of Matt Riddle, quick, during the Undertaker's Hall of Fame speech, which by the way, if you haven't, go back and watch the Undertaker's Hall of Fame speech, one of the best ever. When the Undertaker comes back up the ramp, puts his fist in the air, you just see Matt Riddle on the side, just like totally fanboy. He's like, bro, he is loving it. And you can tell, and I'm very happy that he got to sit that close for that. So.
I got to say, that was the only good part of the Hall of Fame. It was kind of bleh.
Well, hold on. First of all, Harold, I do have to disagree with you on one thing, because we got to hear about Scott Steiner and Randy Savage in a cattle herding competition.
Yeah, that was all right.
It was the weirdest thing ever. I don't know if Scott Steiner hung out with RVD prior to going out there. It's like, what the heck? But you know what? I think given a live microphone, a lot worse could have been said, given it was Scott Steiner. So clearly he had an ambient before going on stage.
So a little sidebar real quick. It's pretty obvious that Triple H will be the headliner next year.
I think so. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they went with The Rock, though, since it is in Hollywood. And Triple H, I feel like, to a point, almost in a way like DX, he wanted to do so he can get his buddies in. He wanted to get them, in there. Whereas I think for himself, it's almost sort of like a Vince McMahon thing. Like Vince said he doesn't want to go in the Hall of Fame, I don't think, or at least not while he's alive. So
I was thinking they're starting to run out of like headliners, I would say.
Well, I think that's because they've done all the big names in the past. You've got to keep going for, and that's another thing with building stars. I think obviously, like you look at who in the last 20 years has wrestled that will be a Hall of Famer. Batista, did they do Batista or no?
Batista was last year, right?
I feel like he said like, no, I'm not going in for some reason. I could be.
Who was the headliner from last year's?
The NWO. Because they did both classes, but I feel like Batista was not a part of last year for whatever reason. Like he was supposed to be, but they took him off for some reason. I may have to look that up. I could be wrong. I kind of muted that one because it had the Bellas in it. So, but no, you think of people who have wrestled in the last 20 years or so who should be in the Hall of Fame, or people that are like that could be headliners. John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Batista if they haven't inducted him.
Johnny Knoxville.
H. Johnny Knoxville will go in the celebrity wing. I guarantee it. Him and Bad Bunny and Logan Paul, probably. Michael Cole, I would say, is probably, I mean, not that he's a headliner, but he's probably a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. Bailey, my friend Bailey.
Yeah, you've got the 4 horsewomen. They'll all go in most likely. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
it's all down the line. I'm talking about like the next couple of years.
I mean, I could, like I said, I think you could do
Rock
The Rock.
and
I think
Triple H.
The Rock, John Cena. I don't think John Cena would do it until he's officially retired.
Yeah, I think Cena's gonna come back for some more matches before.
Yeah, I think Cena gets that 17th world title. I think I've got to believe in there. There's no way he wants to leave it tied. It'd be weird. But yeah, I think your biggest ones are Triple H, Rock, and that's it, I guess, as headliners. So I mean,
Hardys maybe, but I mean they're AEW.
That ain't happening for a while. Cody.
What about
Is Mick Foley in it?
Yes, I was there when Mick Foley was inducted. He pinned Chris Jericho on stage, and CM Punk counted the fall.
Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Kurt
Yeah,
Angle?
Chris Jericho. Kurt Angle's in.
Man.
Yep, Kurt Angle's
Is he?
in.
That's what I know.
It's very funny thinking about it. I'll never forget the 2013 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I went, and so it was the year that Donald Trump was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And the funny part is, so Trish Stratus got inducted in that class as well, and she announced that she was pregnant, and so her husband is there, and the guy and Jerry Lawler with one of the best jokes ever goes, "How's it feel to be the most hated guy in a room that includes Donald Trump?" I had me dying. I was like, that's a good one, Jerry. That's a good one. But yeah, so is that our Mania wrap up pretty much? I think so. Anybody? Ryan?
Quick story if you want to hear about this shirt, actually.
Absolutely.
It's real quick, WrestleMania related. I bought it, WrestleMania 12. Bret Hart wrestled. How did I not buy a Bret Hart shirt? I bought an Undertaker shirt.
Some favorite.
Anyway, so I bought that shirt. It's been tucked away for, whatever, many years. Never really worn it. I found it at my grandparents' my wrestling box. I brought it to my house. There's a weird smell later on in my garage. I'm like, okay, whatever. I find there's a little mouse that made its way into my wrestling box. I know. All right. But anyway, let me get this. So he didn't get my figures. He didn't get my this or that, but he did eat the shirt a little bit.
Oh, God.
But I want to say the Undertaker had the last laugh. Because here's where it got eaten up. I've washed it many times. Don't worry, it's sanitized, Dave. But on the back, little mousy, rest in peace.
Well done, Ryan. I'm gonna go.
If it would have been any other shirt, it would have been horrible. It was kind of fitting. It kind of worked.
Well, it was. So yeah, I think that's gonna bring us to our top 3 Tuesday, unless we have any other WrestleMania news of the weekend. No, yes. We're excited for Cody on Monday Night Raw last night. Obviously, when this airs. Veer, by the time this airs, Veer will have come, ladies and gentlemen. Finally.
That's the best news in the world.
Veer's about to
pray that he comes out Brodus King or Brodus Clay style, like somebody call my mama.
Oh heavens! Why have you put that thought out there? I'm terrified.
Or No Way Jose style with a conga line.
Because last time they did this was with Brodus Clay. They built him up as this monster that was coming forever, and then it was like this.
Well, do you remember there was it Mahabali Shir in Impact, like came out like dancing around, and when I'm like, oh God, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh boy. But we'll see. But that's Raw after Mania. This is Wrestling Nerd broadcast after Mania. So let's go with our top 3 Tuesday. And it is going to be our top 3 moments from the weekend. And you know what? I'm going to expand it. It can be WrestleMania, GCW, Ring of Honor, this, that, the other thing. You tell me it's in the top 3. King Harold, do you want to go first or do you want to go last?
I will go last.
All right. We'll even let you pick the order because you're the king now, baby. You're the king.
You know, in honor of the 2-year anniversary, let's keep it old school and go Nick, Ryan, and Dave, and then Harold.
Works for me.
While you do that, I'm going to take a little break and get a quick sip of water. My cough is getting bad. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. So, Nick, you are up first for your top 3 moments of the weekend.
I'm going to go ahead and just put some of the obvious ones out of the way here and go. The debut of Cody Rhodes was pretty crazy. And then I'm going to keep it on WrestleMania Night 1 and go the in-ring return of Stone Cold Steve Austin as my second moment. And then, let's see, the last moment of the week. I'm going to go WrestleMania Night 1 and go Becky Lynch's ring attire.
Becky Lynch looked like the singer from Paramore with that haircut. I couldn't get it out of my head. Haley Williams, I believe. I'm like,
yeah.
What the heck? Hey, Harold's back.
Yeah, that's my top 3. I enjoyed the Becky Lynch.
It's cheeky.
Becky butt cheeks.
I enjoyed Charlotte's outfit, but that's just me. Ryan, what's your top 3 moments of the weekend?
Let's see. I'm gonna go a Bianca Belair, and I think they could maybe use the same like the Jake the Snakes. You know, you could do her hair. You know, I'm gonna go Street Profits. Montez Ford. When I saw him wrestle for the first time on my first date with my wife, he had like gold Kata shoes. So I want him with gold Kata shoes. This is getting hot. And then I'm gonna go. Oh, I had something else. Okay, I'm gonna go in AJ Styles, but there's a factory botch and they make him too tiny, and it's phenomenal.
Pre-match random blood coming down the face.
Yeah, seriously, we got to figure that out. Has anybody heard on why that happened? Like, all I'm thinking is WrestleMania 9. Hogan's got a boo-boo. He had a jet ski accident. You know, Damian Priest roughed Hogan up at the gym the night before. The way IRS and Ted DiBiase had goons.
I was thinking that like something happened with his pyro or
that's
something.
That's what I'm thinking in a way.
In the face.
He didn't flinch, you know.
He was like walking down the thing, like rubbing his face. Like
well, it's like Mania 29. Triple H came through this dry ice when he fought Brock Lesnar, and he just comes out like, why does he have all this white stuff? No, he had like 3rd-degree burns and just no soul.
Elimination Chamber when they burnt the Undertaker.
Yes,
fireworks, and he was
wrestlers
like,
don't
up in the water all over.
Wrestlers don't sell for fire, man. They're like, no, man, you got to cut the limb off if you want me to sell. So Ryan, was that all 3?
That's all 3.
All right.
On
so
my fellow Harold, Team Harold member.
Yes, I am proudly Team Harold. It's just the best.
Yes.
It's the best. You know, my top 3 moments. I'm gonna go with the beginning of Supercard of Honor, getting to hear friend of the show Ian Riccaboni broadcasting on Ring of Honor. I've gotten to hear him, you know, do some commentary past couple months, but the pure joy you could hear in his voice when it came back. And I'm like, good for you, man. Like I'm happy when I know that when I can feel other people being happy, and that made me happy, you know? So yes, we'll go with Ian Riccaboni. We could always use more Ian Riccaboni microballers. Then I'm going to go with the man who is, excuse me, it's been a long weekend. So we got to go back to Friday, and we all thought that at the end it was Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt putting the boots to Jonathan Gresham. But then who comes out? Holy hell, Samoa Joe is all elite, ladies and gentlemen. Just think of the dream matches. Samoa Joe versus Keith Lee. Think of the beef in that match. Oh, baby. So
somebody
yes.
call Ruth Chris. We're at the steakhouse, baby.
There you go. We need all the beef to this one. And then I'm gonna go. This is a bonus pack here. We're gonna go with a multi-pack of brawlers for this moment. The moment of the weekend for me. I enjoyed all the banter we had in the Patreon exclusive Facebook chat. That was a lot of fun all weekend. Everyone's just nonstop wrestling for the last 3 days, and I'm excited for it to calm down a little bit, just because like there was almost too much to keep up with. You know, it's like We got Super Card of Honor. We've got Effie's Big Gay Brunch. We've got Impact's Multiverse, Mania Night 1 and 2, and I'm sure like 8 million other shows were going on. It was insane.
I'm impressed too with the amount of our Patreons that are like constantly at shows. Like there's a big show going on. There's probably one of our Patreon members is there in attendance and stuff. So if you ever on the fence about joining our Patreon and you want some like in-house knowledge of what's going on in all of wrestling, then you should definitely join because
Impact Rebellion pay-per-view and TV tapings will be happening in a few weeks, and I will be there, with my Tom Says Hi sign. So you can. And
Did you hear the chant?
I did, and you're gonna hear it at Rebellion as well. You will see me. I'll be in the second and third row for the pay-per-view and the TV tapings. I will be there with my sign. So who knows? Maybe I can get Gallows to walk by and too sweet the Tom Says Hi.
No, at the Impact pay-per-view, it's the second and third. It's the third row, also the last row.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's like the third row. It's like of 10.
When is that?
It's April 23rd. It's in 3 weeks, I believe. So, yeah, 23rd is Rebellion. 24th is the day they're doing the TV taping. So I'll be there for both. So you just see me for a month on TV on Access TV. So I'll bring a sign that says, Josh, call me. But yeah, so that does for our Top 3 Tuesday. Let us know your favorite moments of the weekend.
Whoa.
What? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. We have one more set to go. I'm sorry, my king. Sorry, my liege. To end the Top 3 Tuesday, please welcome the king, Harold the Puppet.
Yes. It is me. Hello there. Your King Harold. I gotta say, there were a lot of times in the chat where I was like, guys, do you see that gear? Oh my gosh, that gear looks so incredible. To where I can't even remember any of the moments where I said, whoa, baby, that gear. I gotta say though, Top 3 WrestleMania weekend moments. The Briscoes and FTR match really blew me away. And I wouldn't mind a 4-pack of them in brawlers, all jazzed up and ready to roll.
Looking better than those other Briscoe brawlers.
Ugh. And then my next, oh boy, my new favorite guy in the WWE, none other than, hi, this is Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to Jackass. I love him so much. I think if we get a little skinny brawler of Johnny Knoxville, that would be so, whoa, that would be so good. Yes. So my number 3, that has to be, oh boy, whoa, sorry. My number 3 has got to be the Patreon group chat, just like Dave said. That was an incredible highlight.
A lot of hugs given out in the Patreon group.
A lot of hugs given out this group.
Yes, you know it was me this whole time. I've got to tell you something, nerds. Guess what? It was me pretending to be Harold this whole time. Your new king. Whoa, baby. I got to say, hey, David, guess what?
What's that?
I have no interest in being the king. I want to be the new commissioner of the broadcast. And you know what that means for you, Dave?
What does that mean?
It always, like I always say, wrestling only has one royal family. King Dave, put on the crown. Yeah. It was me doing the predictions. It was me the whole time. I'm so sneaky.
Baby.
I wasn't coughing. I was hiding my voice.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yes. Wrestling has just one royal family. King Dave's family.
Long live the royal family, baby.